In a recent media appearance, the CEO of General Motors, Mary Barra, expressed her confidence in the company's autonomous self-driving feature and reaffirmed the company's objective of overtaking Tesla as the leader in the EV revolution. While Tesla has shown some impressive results with its latest FSD beta update, GM's chances for catching up with Tesla in software are becoming smaller with each passing day. So then, has GM lost both production and software wars to Tesla? And why would the CEO say the opposite? It's all because GM was a little hesitant to join the EV revolution as a heritage car maker and a household United States brand. Still, it did so anyway and has been doing pretty well since then. However, following a rough finish to 2021 due to a significant Bolt recall, GM's EV delivery figures were awful despite daring donations from GMC to get one solitary Hummer EV pickup out into the world. GM has kicked off the third quarter of 2022 with its long-promised EV portfolio starting to emerge and gather some traction. Revamped manufacturing facilities, new US battery cell factories, and a host of new BEV models were just some of the headlines that followed as GM works to meet its target of delivering 20 new EVs by 2023 and increasing EV production capacity by 1 million vehicles by 2025. Not only that, but GM's CEO, Mary Barra, has indicated on multiple occasions that the American carmaker aspires to be the brand to beat in electric cars and has had its eyes set on overthrowing Tesla for quite some time. Despite worldwide supply chain challenges, GM's EV transition looks to be on the track. Still, will the manufacturer surpass Tesla in EV production and, more importantly, in the full self-driving feature of its own EVs? It is difficult to claim that regaining market share from Tesla, which has been America's #1 EV for over a decade, played a significant role in the decision to take a $35 billion swallow of the lithium-ion deal. Tesla currently has 6 electric vehicles on the market and many more on the way. GM will need all available manufacturing capacities to catch up with Tesla, which delivered approximately 255,000 EVs in the second quarter of 2022 alone. In contrast, GM shipped approximately 7,200 EVs in the second quarter. Not so impressive, if you ask me. Barra, on the other hand, does not seem to be flinching at all. At the interview, she expressed confidence that the business would surpass Tesla in EV manufacturing, but did not provide a particular timetable. She had previously mentioned 2025. However, this may have been changed. It may not happen by 2025, but it's still feasible. GM is entering the competition with all-electric versions of the Chevy Silverado, Blazer SUV, and Equinox SUV, which already have street cred due to their gasoline-powered forebears. The demand for electric vehicles will be deafening if even a tiny percentage of combustion GM drivers switch to them. Moreover, suppose GM can shift its manufacturing infrastructure to match that demand. Only in that case, we might see a real battle with Tesla. GM is confident in its ability to surpass Tesla in EV manufacturing. Okay, maybe someday they can. But what about self-driving electric vehicles? Barra discussed the massive demand for GM EVs across all brands, despite supply chain constraints. She said, "To be honest, the supply has been stretched quite thin from the inception of COVID, so I'm really happy with what we've accomplished. We're witnessing semiconductor advancements which will allow us to produce an increasing number of cars." According to Barra, one of the 2 previously announced US battery plants will open in Ohio in a matter of weeks, enabling GM to increase EV manufacturing even more. As stated by the new rules negotiated under the recent Inflation Reduction Act, GM may pitch its customers on federal tax incentives for select US-built EVs, which might benefit both the carmaker and consumers. GM is also pulling billions of dollars into its present facilities to embrace electrification and overtake Tesla. But what about a rivalry in which the American manufacturer has a smaller infrastructure head start? Unlike her statements on EV production, Mary Barra has not explicitly said that GM aims to outperform Tesla in self-driving technology, but that doesn't imply it is not true. Since the autumn of 2021, the team at GM subsidiary Cruise has been conducting fully driverless rides in San Francisco, recording tens of thousands of miles over hundreds of journeys. Barra remarked on the company's progress. "I'm really impressed and satisfied with the progress Cruise has made under the direction of Kyle Vogt in terms of technical readiness. I believed a few years ago everyone assumed autonomous cars would be ubiquitous. Still, now they think it's years away. It isn't, it's already here." Barra said that she thinks autonomous cars, such as the GM vehicles utilized by Cruise, represent the future of how people move about because of their increased safety and absence of human mistakes. This factor accounts for 90% of all automotive fatalities. Apparently, GM has extensively invested in the whole EV supply chain as well, from battery cells to battery manufacturing facilities to raw material procurement. They want to make sure they have all the parts in place to really sustain those production levels. Just like Tesla, GM's substantial parts and service network will be a crucial foundation for EV pickup truck sales, especially among consumers who use their vehicles for work. Those customers would not accept waiting weeks or months for their cars to be repaired. So, if GM can execute effectively, and execution is crucial, they could have a major edge against Tesla, which has a minimal service infrastructure at the moment. Another reality is that GM said in 2017 that it would have 20 EV cars on the market within 6 years. It overpromised and underdelivered. There are still just the Bolt, the Hummer EV, and the planned Chevy electric SUV 5 years later. It is worth mentioning that Ford performed a better job of under-promising and over-delivering from all legacy automakers. Sales of the F-150 Lightning EV truck and the Mach-E have been strong, despite some problems with Mach-E recalls. According to Barra, GM's goal to become an EV leader is to provide a mix of higher-profit EVs, such as electric pickup trucks, and lower-priced EVs that most new vehicle purchasers can afford. Earlier this year, General Motors announced a $6.6 billion investment in its home state of Michigan through 2024 to enhance electric pickup truck manufacturing and construct a new EV battery cell factory. The increased investments are part of GM's ambition to raise North American manufacturing capacity to 1 million electrified cars by 2025. GM expects to surpass Tesla as the most prominent US-based seller of electric vehicles by the mid-decade mark. The expenditures are part of the company's $35 billion commitment to EVs by 2025. By mid-decade, we will have the products, battery cell capacity, and vehicle assembly capability to be the EV leader, Mary Barra said in a statement. GM has a lot of ground to make up in only 3 years. Tesla, which does not provide the exact sales figures for the United States, delivered 936,172 electric cars worldwide in 2021 alone, and that's a big difference in numbers. Last year, GM's Chevrolet brand sold fewer than 25,000 EVs, placing third in US EV sales behind Tesla and Ford, which delivered 27,140 Mustang Mach-E EVs. Tesla's US manufacturing capacity was able to climb from approximately 580,000 vehicles to almost 1 million this year after its second domestic facility in Texas became partially operational. GM announced $2.6 billion for a new battery plant in Lansing, Michigan, through a joint venture with LG Energy Solution, and $4 billion to convert its Orion assembly plant in suburban Detroit to produce electric trucks starting in 2024, such as the upcoming versions of the Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra. They also announced a $510 million investment into Lansing area car assembly sites to update for non-electric vehicles. Many of the extra investments have been revealed earlier this year. Still, as we have already mentioned, GM has not stated how many cars it wants to create by 2025, a manufacturing timetable, or the goods manufactured at Orion. The cash infusion will potentially generate 4,000 new jobs and retain 1,000 already existing. Michigan will be acknowledged as the recognized center of innovation in the United States for GM's EV research and development and production. Orion Assembly and GM's Factory Zero factory in Detroit are expected to produce the bulk of the 1 million electric cars sold in North America. Orion is anticipated to be able to manufacture 360,000 vehicles per year by the mid-decade mark, while Factory Zero is aiming for 270,000 units. GM is also converting operations in Tennessee, Canada, and Mexico to produce electric vehicles. In addition, GM plans to switch 50% of its North American assembly capacity to EV manufacturing by 2030, 5 years ahead of its target of offering only light-duty electric cars by 2035. At the end of the day, GM should be focused on a product that sells and attracts buyers instead of catching up with Tesla. That's why it will be interesting to see if they will fail miserably or not. What do you think on this topic? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching and see you in the next videos.